Welcome to Loving Life, a guide to a positive mindset. I'm your host, Lisa. I'm a mindset and energy coach, and each week you'll discover mindset shifts, energy practices, and real life tools to help you feel more confident, calm, and in flow, because you deserve to love the life you're creating. I'm so glad you're here with me. Let's get going on today's episode. Welcome everybody, welcome back to Loving Life and this first episode of 2026. Now, I would love to know how you got on with the exercise that I said about in my last episode. So to come up with a word or a theme that will outline your 2026 for you. So I couldn't decide on one word, so I have got 3 words and I will share them with you now. So my 3 words are growth, expansion, and connection. And I know that growth and expansion, they're pretty similar, but you know, growth can mean growth in relationships, growth in personal development, and expansion is more about, for me, it's more about my podcast expanding, my coaching business expanding, like taking things to the next level. And my aim is to do this through connection, through communication. So my 3rd word is connection, and communication is obviously a massive, massive part of that. So yeah, that is you could make a theme, put them all into one phrase, growth and expansion through connection. But I just like the thought of having 3 words. So, you know, every decision that I make this year, I say every decision, not literally every decision. So like not necessarily when I'm making dinner or whatever, but, you know, when I am struggling to make a decision or if I'm procrastinating over something, then I will refer back to my theme of the year, my words of the year. And if they don't align with those words, then I won't be wasting my time on it. Yeah, I'd love to know how you got on with that. Please do let me know. Before we get into today's episode, by the way, is going to be, I haven't planned it. I've literally got about 4 words written down. So we're just going to see how it goes. It might end up being a bit of a ramble, but there we go. Sometimes they're the best ones because, to be honest, I'm just having a conversation with you, whether you're talking along with me or not. But I know that many of you feel like you are talking along with me when I'm having one of those like conversational episodes. So that's what we're going to do today. Before we get into what I want to talk about today, I just want to say hi, Canada. So Toronto was the place with the most amount of downloads by quite a significant amount last week. But also in the top places of downloads, there was Nova Scotia, which is obviously Canada as well. And also, where was the other place? Montreal. Boston. Like, I know Boston's not Canada, but yeah, there's some different names in those top cities this week. So hi to you guys. If you're just catching up or if you are new, welcome or welcome back, whichever is relevant to you. But I'm so glad you're here with me. Let's start 2026 off together. Today is my youngest's birthday. He is 15 today. I cannot get my head around the fact that my youngest is 15. I've got a 16 and a 15-year-old in the house now. Alfie, my eldest, going to be 17 soon. George is 15 today. It's the 7th of January. And you know what he told me this morning? I cannot believe I've gone 15 years without knowing this, but he shares a birthday with Lewis Hamilton. So happy birthday to Lewis as well, if you're listening. I'm sure you're not, but you know, if anyone knows Lewis, wish him happy birthday for me. I can't believe, like, given that I'm actually a massive Lewis fan, I can't believe I've gone 15 years without knowing or without making the connection that he shares a birthday with George. And that's pretty cool because George is going karting later. He loves karting. His dream is to either be a professional rugby player, but another one of his dreams is to drive an F1 car or a car, racing of some sort. So he absolutely loves Formula One. And yeah, so it's pretty cool that he loves that, and that he's not a Lewis fan. He doesn't not like Lewis, but he's an Aston Martin fan. Do you see what I mean? This is a rambly episode. So, just imagine that we're sat having a coffee together and I'm chatting away, and you're welcome to talk back to me if you like. So I think the thing I want to talk about today, which wasn't where I thought I was going to go today, is, the fact that I've got a almost 17-year-old and a 15-year-old. It's really on my mind recently that very soon I'm going to be one of those empty nesters. I'm going to be crying because my kids have gone off to uni or, having their own lives. And in a way, I find that really scary. I find it really exciting for them, but I also find it really heartbreaking in a way, because I began motherhood being a stay-at-home mum. Oh, this is making me feel emotional about it already, actually. I began my motherhood journey began with me staying at home with them. And God, I did not see this coming. And, from there, I decided to set up my own, obviously, as you know, I had a cake business. I did that so as I could be at home with them, and still have my own hobby, my own passion, and make my own bit of money. So I've basically been with them every single day, apart from if they've been away or if I've been away, which isn't often. And I heard something yesterday, like stay-at-home parents, it hits stay-at-home parents differently. I'm not taking it away from anybody, because I'm sure it is absolutely heartbreaking having to go out to work as well. It's equally heartbreaking, but I only know it from my perspective, which is I've always been there every single day for them. Oh God, they're not even going anywhere yet. Why am I fucking crying? I've been there for them every single day until they went to school. I didn't have to leave them. And the older they get, like I've got friends who have got slightly older children who they're going off to uni, or they're doing things. They're doing their own things. Like one of my friends, her daughter went off to Canada last year to work in a ski resort. The plan was to do it for a year and then come back. And she's gone out there again this year. Somebody else I've reached out to this morning, I sort of sent her a message because she had posted that her son, who's a couple of years older than the boys, her son's off to Canada as well to be a ski instructor. She's also got a daughter who has gone off to Disneyland in Florida. So like her kids are off doing amazing things. So I sent her a message this morning to say, oh my God, what amazing kids, confident, amazing kids you've raised to have the confidence to go off and do their own thing like that. If you've got any advice, mine are now 17 and 15. I can feel that coming in the next few years. If you've got any words of wisdom for me, then I'm all ears. And do you know what? So this lady who I'm talking about, she is a belief coding trainer. She did my very first belief coding in-person training session that I went to. And so I do feel like I really look up to this lady. She's called Tracy. I really look up to her. She's an amazing inspiration. And she sent me a voice note back. And, considering this was 3 years ago that we met, I don't even know if she remembers me, but I just thought how kind of her to send me a voice note back. And you know what? The little nuggets of wisdom, I've actually written them down because when the time comes, I actually want to go back to this later. But I wanted to share this with you today because somebody out there might be going through a similar thing, or you might have, I feel like we have these stages, every single milestone. I don't know about you. If you're a parent, then every single milestone is like a little reality check. One day they're going to be grown up, and one day they're not going to be with us anymore. They're not going to be We're not going to be holding their hands anymore. I mean, we're well past that stage, but they're not going to be holding our hands anymore. They're not going to be giving us nighttime hugs and waving goodbye to us as they leave for school in the morning. So I don't know, for whoever this needs to hear this, maybe you haven't even got children, but you've got friends or family that you have to let go for one reason or another. So one of the nuggets of wisdom, I think the biggest nugget of wisdom that I've got from Tracy is that they are not ours. Like, yes, we have given birth, we have given them life, physical life, but depending on what your beliefs are, you know, they already existed in the spiritual world. They have just come into your surroundings in this physical lifetime. And we're here to guide them, but they're not ours. And what the word in that Tracy used to me, which she was driving, she's just literally coming up with this off the top of her head. I don't know how she does it, but she said, they're a gift, but they're not ours to keep. And God, that really hit me. Like, I don't think of them as possessions, obviously, and I don't feel possessive over them. I know that I've got to let them go one day, and I know I will. And I will wave them off happily and always be open for them to return, but it doesn't make it any easier. So I think hearing that they're a gift, but they're not ours to keep. She also said they belong to the universe. And I thought, oh my God, that is so true. Just like we do, nobody owns us. We own our own minds, but our soul, our spirit, it belongs in the universe. And that's exactly the same with our children, with our friends and family, with our parents even. Like, if you are looking after elderly parents, they don't belong to us either. The thing she said to me was, let them follow their dreams. And this is so true. Like, it's not just about letting them follow their dreams. It's about encouraging them to have dreams. Like I say to the boys, what do you want to do? They haven't got a clue, and that is totally fine. I had no clue what I wanted to do when I was their age. But just because you ask them what they want to do doesn't mean they don't have dreams of what they want to do. And what I mean by that is, I know my boys don't have a clue what they want to do as a profession. But I know that Alfie wants to go off to uni, for example. He has explicitly said that he wants to move away when he goes to uni. He doesn't want to stay here, which part of me thinks, oh my God, why doesn't he want to stay here with me? But then on the other hand, I think, oh my God, I'm so proud that I've raised an independent human being who feels confident enough to go and spread their wings at the first available opportunity to them. George, on the other hand, I don't know what if he wants to go away for uni or not. I mean, he's only 15, obviously, so it's a little bit early for him to think about that. But I know that he really would love to live in another country. Craig's always talking about living in another country, and the only person keeping us here at the moment is me. Because I'm a bit more sentimental, and probably the people pleaser in me wants to be near my family. That's a different story again. But I know that George wants to live in another country, and I can totally imagine him going off to Canada and doing the ski resort thing or something like that, you know, or having a scholarship in America for some kind of sport. Like, he wants to be active. And I guess, yeah, what I'm saying there is let them follow their dreams, but let them like not necessarily know what they want to do with it. George doesn't need to know whether he wants to go to uni or not. But if he has a desire to go and experience life, having fun, then yeah, I'm going to let him. I'm going to encourage him. I'll obviously listen back to this in a couple of years' time when he's threatening to go off and do his own thing. And I'm crying and wishing he wasn't going anywhere. But no, I'm only joking. The other thing that Tracy said is, like, if they hate it, let them know they can come home. Always, if you've got that relationship with them, which obviously I do consider myself to have a close relationship with the boys, as close as a mum with teenage boys. Like, I don't want them to be mummy's boys and never leave me, because, you know, that's pathetic. I want them to go off and live their dreams, but I also don't want them to forget about me. I think that's the fear, isn't it? When you're thinking about your kids going off and doing their own thing, it's like, you don't want them to forget about you. Because where does that leave us? You know, all that time we've spent raising them and teaching them. Oh, we've just got to hope that we've done the right thing. Yeah. And then the final thing that I've written down that Tracy said to me was, once they get to a point where they don't want your advice because they're teenagers, which I'm totally there with probably both of them actually, you've done your job well. And that is such a lovely perspective. If they had to ask you what you think all the time, ask you for advice, didn't have the confidence to make their own decisions, then, you know, how independent, how confident, how, what's the word? I was going to say powerful. I don't mean powerful, but how empowering is their life going to be if they're always coming back and checking? I know how fucking annoying it is when I can't make a decision for myself because of, you know, my people-pleasing background, and am I doing the right thing because is it going to please so-and-so? And I don't realise I'm thinking that way, but I am, if I'm being honest. Am I doing the right thing? What is that so-and-so going to think of me? Like, if they are confident and strong-minded enough to want to make their own decisions or not want your advice because they feel like they know, that's amazing. Like Tracy said, you've done your job well. Thank you, Tracy. I'm going to message her back in a minute and really thank her for what she said to me, because it's really, really got me thinking. And I, you know, bringing it back to what I said earlier about if you might not have children of your own, but you might be looking after elderly parents. And I'm just thinking about people in my life at the moment who are looking after elderly parents. Like, I've got old grandparents on my side, Craig's side. Our parents are looking after them. And I know it can be frustrating when they want to do their own thing, when they're being stubborn about something, when they don't see things the same way as you. And, you know, this can be relevant to that as well. And again, when it's me, when it's my turn and I'm looking after my parents, then yeah, I need to remember that as well. Like, we don't own them. We can't make their decisions for them. We like to make our own decisions. So how is that any different for others in our care? Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there with that. I hope if you've needed to hear this, I hope this has been helpful. And if you haven't needed to hear this necessarily at this time, then remember this episode and come back to it when you're feeling the fear of letting someone go. I hope you had an amazing Christmas and New Year, whatever you did, whether it was busy and full on or nice and quiet and you've managed to embrace the slowness. I really feel like I have embraced the slowness, actually. I can't remember if I said last week, but it was very quiet. Our Christmas was very quiet compared to normal years where we didn't have like younger children around. So that at the time felt very quiet, but I have embraced the slowness of that. So that's been lovely. So I hope whatever you've done has been slow and lovely as well. Just to back up on my invitation last week for joining me for Flow and Flourish. So I decided that it's going to take place on the 15th of Feb. And if your algorithm is anything like mine, then you will have seen that 2026 is the year of the horse. But the Chinese New Year is actually on the 17th of February. So considering we're doing this on the 15th of February, and the Chinese New Year, so the year of the horse, and the horse symbolises strength and endurance and moving forward even when the road is hard. So what a perfect time to make plans for the rest of this year and then moving into that new energy, like 2 days later. Perfect timing. The year of the 2025, by the way, was the year of the snake. You might have seen this because this has literally been all over my Instagram. But the year of the snake, so it's all about shedding. So we're still in that phase now all about shedding and letting go of what no longer serves you. So if you found this last year to be particularly hard, then there's a reason for that. It's because you're letting go of all that shit. So let's move forward together and carry ourselves forward. On the 15th of Feb, if you want to join me, all you need to do is just book your place and then I'll send you a link to join me on Zoom. But yeah, every year we do this and it's always amazing because we talk about the energy of the seasons and we plan our year around that energy. So this is why I'm not going into it yet, because our energy is still quite slow at the moment. We're still shedding, we're still reflecting on the past year at the moment, which is what winter is for. So make sure you're still doing that. Make sure you're still being slow. Make sure you're still reflecting. I know it's not always easy to do that because we're all back to work now and the kids are back to school. So, everyone has got that momentum going on. You're trying to have that momentum going. If it feels hard for you having that momentum, that's why. It's because naturally we are still meant to be slowing down or staying slow, being slow and reflecting and hibernating. So go easy on yourself. And yeah, I will speak to you next week when we're going to start getting back to our normal weekly episodes. Obviously, the last couple of weeks has been all over the place because I haven't known what bloody day of the week it is, as everybody else on planet Earth feels, I'm sure. So have an amazing week and I will see you next week. Go easy on yourself. Sending you so much love. Bye. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd love it if you could take a moment to subscribe, rate, and if you're listening on Apple, as 95% of you do, review. It really helps the podcast reach more people who are ready to shift their mindset and raise their vibration. And if you know someone who would benefit from today's episode, feel free to share it with them. Until next time, keep loving life and know that I'm sending you so much love.